Didn't realize adjusting the chair would look like I was having a seizure on the screen. That's kind of amusing. Hold on, gotta do my usual technology thing. Or attempt at usual technology thing. Come on, usual technology thing. Okay. Set this over here. We'll set this over here. Pen away. Trying to maintain a clean-ish desk here. It's been going well so far. So, hey, good morning. I don't know if I have third shifters joining in on first shift or people with days off. Good morning. Do you have your tea or coffee with you? I really have to get a backdrop or something for this. This weekend's definitely going to be some troubleshooting for the use of the laptop. It's cold down here. Even with the air conditioning off, it's cold down here. I never used to really bother me. I don't know if it's like that. I hit 40 and things went, oh. Spicy foods? No. No longer enjoying those either. There's all kinds of weird things that change over time. Things that you wouldn't expect. I don't know. Me being a smart aleck, no, that doesn't so much change. It's like wine, it gets better with age. I have more material. Oh, it's been an eventful week. I have to take my eyes off, so I can't really see anybody's chatting anything right now. But the work week wrapping up for most, and I don't know, I'm definitely looking forward to just doing some stuff this weekend. We see, people say things. I had a question the other day after one of these morning shows, and I was asked if I had a script or some talking points that I work off of, and I don't, because this is actually for whoever tunes in. It's for everybody. No, just it's a safe place to talk and laugh, and I'm sure more often than not, see me make a fool of myself. But I learned humility at a very young age. So if I can make you laugh, yes. I see a little bit of a lag today on the camera, so I don't know what that's all about. Oh, here comes Zoe. She's here for her morning coffee. She just comes strolling through and then lays down on her spot and makes a very loud sigh. It's like, oh, he's talking again. Okay. So what plans do we have this weekend? Yeah, I don't have a 4 head, I have a 5 head, working on a 6 head. So, oh no. I'm reflecting light right now. That's what I'm doing. I know for us, I'm totally excited that it's endless shrimp again at Red Lobster. So you will see my happy butt taking up residence. I might as well change my address to the Red Lobster for now. So yeah, that's happening tonight. What else do we got going on? Painting some bedrooms. That's on the books. What else? Oh, definitely going to be going out and doing some herbal wild harvesting. We went out earlier, well, last weekend, and managed to get, some really good herbal stuff to add to our collection. Found some bone set, got some blackberry leaves, some Genetian root. Got it all thrown into the dehydrator and ready to go. So, I'm gonna make some laundry soap and things of that nature too, because we're settlers. But it's actually a lot of fun to do these things. I enjoy these things. The herbs, definitely, I've noticed a crazy difference with, adding herbal remedies, herbal teas, herbal magic into life. It's definitely something that I highly recommend. We've been working on so many different things. It's kind of funny when we get to Friday. My Muggle job work week starts on Sunday, and there's that Sunday. Okay, here we go, another week, and then Friday hits, and it's like, the hell did this week go? Oh my gosh, it's Friday. And now, yeah, it's time to kick back, relax, do some fun stuff, and enjoy the finally not scorchingly hot and humid days here on the North Shore of Pennsylvania. Definitely looking forward to over planning and underachieving this weekend. We're very good at that. So yeah, it's been an eventful week. Lots of things going on. Have a whole new line of stuff that we are working on that I can't wait to, really start getting that out there and sharing it with folks. So probably going to be doing some giveaways and things on the sites, on So Magic and So Oils and Still Our World. A lot of it on Facebook. We definitely we do a lot of our promotional type giveaways on Facebook. So definitely tell your friends, to like our pages. Reiki on the Lake, So Oils, So Magic, Still Our World, Rev Art, and Root Dr. Reverend James, because we never know what's going to go on. So it's it's always a treat. So yeah, How'd everybody's week go? Who do we have? Who's talking? Chat at me. I'm gonna stare at the chat. Nothing's happening. Hello? Can y'all hear me? Is this thing on? Hello? Anyway, it's kind of funny in this day and age how we try to, you know, everybody's feeling the crunch anymore, mostly uneventful. I like uneventful weeks because I maintain my hairline. Um, and yeah, eventful weeks tend to make me lose my mind. Meditation is my best friend those days. Oh, I forget that this thing doesn't actually scroll for me, so sorry. Love you too, Lisa. I'm sure we'll catch up soon. And be safe. And have a good day off. Hardworking people, definitely hardworking people. Lots of, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it till the day I die. I'm blessed and to be surrounded by so many hardworking and dedicated and loving and spiritual people. And I know it's hard to get by. Some people have struggles in the day to day with various situations that they're in, whether unintentionally or unexpectedly. And let's be honest, there are some people that are in situations because it's by their own admission, by their own actions. For me, I definitely I just work through things as they come and try to make the best of each day. Scroll. I thought about trying to do these on my phone, but I don't know that I would be able to. I have a hard enough time staying focused. There's between the energies of the folks that join and the energies around and conversation and the fact that people know that I can be easily distracted, it definitely, I'd probably just zone out. Anyway, but yeah, it's an interesting world these days. I think a lot about, where we were to where we've arrived as a society, and in a lot of cases it kind of, I get that reminiscing thing going on, and oh, the good old days. I used to hear that phrase when I was a kid, and I never really thought much about it, but now, like, oh, I get it. I totally get it. Wish I would have enjoyed this, that, the other thing more than. That's something that honestly has really been a thing and a theme this week is reconnecting with ancestors. So my family has a very rich ancestry. However, over the years, it's kind of become very. My family's going to become very dispersed. We don't. We're not in touch like we used to, and I've been taking a course in folklore and loving it, and it's been challenging me to live my family's story, which I've become fascinated with this. I was talking with my mother the other day and learned things that I never knew, and we don't appreciate these things when they're in front of us. And now, in retrospect, I sit and I think, well, damn, I should have paid more attention. So, if nothing else, if for anybody that watches this today, don't take those moments for granted. Not at all. I have my childhood recollections of, being over at my great grandmother's house, and I was fortunate enough to have a great grandmother for the first 16, 17 years of my life. And just, there were those things that grandma would do, and you just kind of accept it, and go with it. And then they're gone. And now you're just left with the memories. And I think to myself, damn it, I wish I would have written this stuff down. But I don't fault myself, because I got caught up in being a teenager. I mean, between playing baseball and playing soccer and being in this and being in that and school and friends and so on and so forth, it's easy to lose sight and lose track of this just this definition, these defining moments of who we actually are, where we actually came from. And I've come to learn a lot from, and I'll say this, as I have my friends are my family too, and I count their stories among my own. I've been fortunate enough to learn family histories and those recipes and the tricks and the little things that run through families. I've been entrusted with these, I don't know if you want to call them family secrets or what, over the years, and I'm grateful for this. I realize now where I wouldn't have 30 years ago, just how much I've been entrusted with. It's humbling, and it's just really something that I highly recommend, and I hope that folks will take that time to learn. The past, we can't recreate it, but once the folks are gone, they're gone. And I will be the first to tell anyone, and get to know your family. Get to know your family, get to know your history, your family history, get to know those liniments and tinctures and recipes and the herbal remedies and all that good stuff that grandma does or great grandma does, or because that is what enriches your life. It does. I know there'll be people that'll hear me say this, I'll never use it. You never know. You never know. It kind of ties back a little bit to what we talked about on Wednesday with making sure that we stay, that we rebuild community and we rebuild the connections. And on Wednesday we talked a lot about how we've lost connection with each other as a society, but we've also lost the connections to family, and it's just as, if not more so, important than anything to know where it is you come from in your history. So we actually have an ancestors altar set up here in the house, and have added folks to it. I was a little caught off guard by how many folks I could add to the altar. I never realized how many of these defining folks were gone. It's kind of, when you see it all in one place, it's kind of like, wow. And for me, as a spiritual person, as a spiritualist, I've taken the time every day to pull up a chair and sit for a few minutes and just say hi, because they're still with us. See, snapping beans with my grandma, I did that too. That's from corn shucking to we were talking, my mom and I, about this system that my great grandmother had for planting a garden. And I think when I first started planting gardens, I truth be told, I was probably still in diapers, and I'll probably be planting a garden when I'm in diapers again. So it is what it is. Hey, there's a picture. Anyway, but there was always a system, and you put this by this and not this before this day, and da 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 da. And I never really thought about it. It was just kind of, that's grandma's way. And I started looking into it, and recently, and astrology has never really been my thing. It's too much like math. And from there, but I've never opened truly a Farmer's Almanac or any of those now wonderful books, I come to realize, only to find out that great grandma was planting by the planets. I never knew, and I didn't know this was a thing, and I learned, and I realized that spiritual roots run deep in my family. And these are the things that so many people struggle with identity, and you see it. Their identity is on Facebook, their identity is on Twitter, their identity is on Instagram or Snapchat or some other stupid, really non-important let's be honest, platform. But their identity is in their family, is in where they came from. And when we reconnect like this, it definitely brings a bigger picture into who you are. It definitely changes your world and your perspective on things. Um, that's one thing I've planned on for this weekend too, is I just found out there's a whole nother repository. We'll use repository. That's my SAT word for the morning. Um, of photos hiding in photo albums in my mother's closet. So there's a pretty good chance that for several hours this weekend, I'm going to be sitting there and collecting more pictures of these wonderful and fantastic people that have been in my life and helped to define me, and adding them to the ancestors' altar, um, and growing. It's when you put it together and you see literally the level of awesome that you come from, there is nothing else that will that can bring that down. Um, it's really, it's uplifting, it's humbling, it's energizing. You know, we have articles of from family members that we've also placed on the ancestors' altar. Uh, you know, there's an oil lamp. Yes, if you know, I see the memes on Facebook about, you know, if there was an opportunity for a line to heaven, you know, or like a phone line, what have you, you know, could I just have that number for a minute? And it really, it kind of, when you first see it, you think, oh, that's such a sweet sentiment. And this week, after, you know, really reconnecting with my family and such, it kind of means something completely different to me. I'm floored, honestly, by the power in that. Um, it's just unreal, you know. Um, but like I said, you know, they are still here with us. We talk, we chat. Um, you know, I have my grandmother's oil lamp. She had this really fancy oil lamp, and if I wasn't afraid that I'd break it, I'd run upstairs and grab it and bring it down. It's this circle. Yeah, look at me guesstimating with my eyes. That's also how I measure things when I'm building something. So if I build a house, don't go in it. But I mean, it's about this big, and it's round, and it's about maybe that thin. But it's so cool. But it was something of hers. It was something that I know it was of my grandmother, and it is now on the altar, and we like that, you know, to say hi. Um, I've been collecting little tidbits as I can find them. Um, my mother, God love her, the attic at her house is probably, I don't know, it's one of the best hiding places I've ever seen. We can I've been able to find so many really, really awesome just little mementos of family members there that I know were theirs. You know, you think, and every time you think about these things, every time you see these things, it enriches and connects you back to who you were, back to your family, and it grounds you. It really does. there's a level of comfort that develops the more you work with your ancestors. And it's a foundational thing. In a lot of the classes that I teach, I talk about, because I bring in a little bit of psychology with it, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I convert it to the spiritual side of things, with what spiritual aspects of life actually fit into the different levels. And the more I've gotten into working with my ancestors, the more I've come to realize that I was, all these years, I was missing one hell of a building block. And my gosh, the difference. You know, technology. I can't walk and text at the same time. Apparently I can't talk. I definitely get this, the phone goes ding and I have, oh, look at the kitty. It is what it is. I've definitely I've definitely regretted ever jumping into the world of the cell phone. That's just me. I've thought more about that even this week too, because it to me is anymore, it's a tool that doesn't serve its purpose. It keeps you even more disconnected than it does keep you connected. And I'm sure there are differing opinions on this, but when you think about why do I need to do this? Why do I need to do that? Why do I need to go to this place? Why do I need to go to that place? I can just do it all right here in my palm. Well, because you're human. Let's start there. And humans are social creatures. Calling social media is a fallacy. It's not social. It's hiding behind a keyboard. And we all see the keyboard warriors. I probably see them more than others because of the muggle job. But you can see just how disconnected with the world and others people are through social media. So, irony. I think I'm going to start wearing my contacts in the mornings. Yeah, that's. Haven't had coffee yet. Oh, and now I only have one eye. So if you ever see me here with an eye patch, you'll know I tried to put my contacts in that morning. And I don't know, if you don't want to share here, that's fine. But like I said on Wednesday, I'm always interested in hearing other people's stories. And I would love to hear more about everyone's family stories. It's fascinating to me now. It started with a folklore course that I took thinking, you know what, this is really cool. This is something I want to learn. This is something that I want to know. And has just kind of snowballed into just almost it's and I feel it forming into a way of life. I started looking at ancestry.com, and those little, what do they call them? The leaves, the little leaves that pop up when you put somebody's name in, and it's like, oh, there's more information here. It's kind of addictive, and not in a bad way. But it's like that snapshot into the past, and it's awesome. Like I said, I've been fortunate to call many of my friends' families family as well, and I really appreciate on a personal and spiritual level just what that means now. Friends from Pittsburgh that have opened their home to me, and gosh, the memories. But all over, a lot of my friends that tune in to the shows, we're family. We've had that connection too, where I've listened to the stories, and I may not have at the time thought as deeply about it, but I've looked back, and it's just it's all fascinating and humbling. Let's see here. That is fantastic. I didn't realize, and I was actually I was talking with in chat, because social media, the woman that is the proprietor and teacher of the course that I'm taking, and she tore apart my last name, which is Zieber, and there have been folks in my family that have had the little DNA tests done, and we've come to find out that some of the stories that we thought were true may not necessarily be true. We're here from, most of my family's been Pennsylvania, a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch history. I come from a lot of farmers, and not a lot of people would say that with as much pride as I do, but these folks have been awesome. And it caused a little bit of difficulty on the ancestry thing. I always knew my great-grandmother was one that came to this country when she was very young. She had told me that several times. But trying to find out information on where she came from, I know I have Czechoslovakian in my makeup here, but I didn't realize that I have Austro-Hungarian ancestry. It's been really cool, and I wish I'm not as adept at explaining the etymology, I guess, of my last name as Miss Cat was, but it's fascinating. It's really fascinating. I'm very yes, Yes, we are. As of August 27th, 2017. Horseheads, New York. Now I'm trying to think. I think I've been to that region. Note to self, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9:55, mute thy technologically disconnecting from the rest of the world phone. And that is true, Carrie. I've found several different spellings of not just my name, and people murder my name all the time, but I've found so many alternate spellings of all of my family's names, and I look back and I'm like, how do I know which one's right? Which one's my ancestor? But I know I'll get it. But I guess probably, I mean, the strongest part of it being I thought so. I Those moments when I felt, and everybody thinks, spiritual people, they don't get mad, they don't get sad, they're all crystals and sage and blah. Not true. Those moments when I felt small, now I don't think that could ever come back. Now that I know that I am part of such a rich history, a rich ancestry, and I encourage everyone to do this reconnection. Reconnect with your ancestors. Talk to the folks in your family that are still here while you can. I found out that just this week, I just found out that I have two great aunts still with us. They were my great grandfather's sisters. And we were my mom and I were talking about it, and my mom's like, I lost track of where they lived, and come to find out that both of them literally are living less than a mile from where I'm sitting now. So there's definitely some reconnecting, hopefully, going to be going on with them. I'm fascinated just knowing. I mean, I knew I had one great aunt still with us, who has been a part of my life since I was a kid, and I've been meaning to go see her. Now it's not something that I'm just going to push to the back burner again. You know how everybody says, "Oh, we should get together. We can get together, and we should go have coffee." And then a week passes, a month passes, or several years pass, and you sit there and you run across somebody and whatever happened to us getting together to have coffee? Yeah, I'm not going to. That's not going to be a thing for me anymore, or us, I should say. I'm jealous now. I'm pretty I'm pretty sure that most of my day is now going to be tied up on ancestry.com. But really, I mean, when push comes to shove, and I guess it's a good thing. It's something that needs to be examined more. Is we need to rebuild these connections. We need to, if we're waiting for life fulfilling enrichment to come from an external source, we're going to be waiting a long time. It's there. Enrichment is there, and it doesn't cost money per se. I mean, if you pay for Ancestry, something like that. But it's just a matter of having a cup of tea with a great-grandparent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, cousin, the people that built our families. And taking that time to reconnect to those who have passed, whether that be a photo album or, like in our case, with an ancestors altar. There's the power and strength and enrichment and enlightenment that comes from rebuilding our connection to the past. Is just, I can't, I'm blown away by this, and I've seen a lot in my time, from working on the circuit and visiting places like Lilydale and other events. I've seen a lot, and just in my own adventures too, whether that's paranormal investigations, because we've done, James and I have done a few together. I've done a few before he and I had met. There's so much out there to experience, but it takes a lot for a revelation to blow me away, and this has. I will never discount where I come from. Again, I will never forget again. And I encourage everybody that watches this to take those moments and reconnect. It's amazing. People have been trying to talk me into doing my DNA, and I figure if my dad did it, my brother did it, that should be good, right? I mean, if you think about it, that should pretty much cover most of the bases, if nothing else. Because I don't, I don't know. Depending on who you talk to, they might, watch it come back Atlantean or something, and I'd almost be afraid to have the DNA done, because my friends, I always knew you was an alien. I could see that happening. I'll get the DNA kit back, and there'll just be this question mark, and folks will just be like, knew it all along, alien. I really wish I had like this big wild wig right now, and I know aliens. For any Ancient Aliens fans, I don't know, that guy trips me out. Everything's aliens. I don't see how that's possible. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of good things this week. It's been an eventful week, and I'm looking forward to today and tomorrow to be able to continue my reconnections with folks, building more connections with folks on here. You know, ask questions. If you want to send me, if there's something you want to talk about, send me a message. You know, let me know. We can dedicate morning coffee to a theme. Although, ironically enough, it seems like everyone has developed into a theme without without that intention being set, and that's kind of cool when you think about it. Okay. Okay, fine. I will do my genetics. Genetics? I'll get my DNA tested. This is art without, you know, by about noon, I'm generally coffeed up enough. So, you know, this time of morning, you're liable to see me stumble over my words here and there. This cup here, I think it's like a 16-ounce cup, pretty sure. But it definitely gets its work out through the course of the day. So people are like, can you actually sleep at night? And it comes down to, you know, I'll sit down. Watching TV past 10 o'clock it's like Sominex or something. It's just, I sit down, we watch TV, and I pass out. Get done with work at 10:30, get done drinking coffee at 10:30, usually passing out by 11. So if you can understand, if that draws any bit of a picture here of why morning coffee can be a little erratic as far as me stumbling over words, that should fill you in. But I'm really excited now. You know, there was an energy building just in talking about the DNA stuff, and Mary Beth, I think Tobin would love that. Once I get mine done, MB, we'll have to trade notes. And by the way, so jealous of Ohio Pile. So jealous of Ohio Pile. I need several days in the woods without a cell phone. So bad. So bad. I definitely, I think that's a good way to close out the week. Is I definitely encourage everybody to do whatever you can to research your ancestry, whether that's by going on something like ancestry.com. You can do a lot of it in the public forum too, through census bureaus and such. Talking with family members, you know, I just found out that a memory from my mom when she was young, sitting in my great-grandmother's kitchen with, I guess that would be my great-great-aunt, her sister, and they'd get together and pretty much predict the entire events of our family for the next year. And it all happened. And it's interesting as we look at these things to see, how gifts like this run in families and such, but you never know what you're going to find, and you never know what you're going to add to your own story. And everybody looks at the future as being this amazing place, and I now look at the past and say, wow, that was an amazing time. People say, oh yeah, there was outhouses and no plumbing and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, yeah, I'm mad that I missed it. Because what could I have now to tell my friends and hopefully my descendants? What stories would I have of my family's folklore to share? It boggles the mind, and I'm going to put these stories back together. I know I am. And I want to hear yours too. I really do. It's not lip service. To have the opportunity for you guys to share your stories, it's a fantastic, it's just a fantastic thing. I can't here's me getting a little overwhelmed. It's like all of a sudden there's all this, it's kicking the feels in. But set up those spaces if you're so inclined, where you can reconnect with your history, like we have done. If you have questions on how to do it, definitely drop us a line, drop us a message. We can compare notes. That would be fantastic. For most of the weekends here, a couple days off, we can start building those connections again. Connections to our past, connections to our present. We can't neglect that. So, there's the picture in my mind that was just shown, the juggling. And this is the most juggling I can do, because if there were actual juggling balls, I would probably knock myself out. Don't get me, then I see people that juggle with chainsaws and knives. Yeah, that would be bad. So, anyway, I'm needing more coffee. And I'm thrilled y'all joined up with me this morning. And, take some time this weekend. Ask people about themselves. Ask people to tell you stories that they remember of your ancestors. Start building the connections. And, we'll be back on Monday. If you want, we can share those together, because I already know I'm going to be doing the same. So I hope y'all have a wonderful and safe and happy and eventful, in a good way, weekend. Much love, many blessings, and we'll see you next week, 10 o'clock Monday morning. So have a wonderful day.